Alright, where are we at? Okay, I just filmed a sequence here, literally just minutes ago. Same spot. And I went through it, worked it really good with a couple flies, a pheasant tail and a small little caddis larva. I dropped back down to the bottom again here. I switched my flies up, and I'm gonna work it back through with a different pattern. And we're gonna see if I can get any more. I got one here. I didn't get the hook set on camera. This is a brown trout. But we're gonna work back through here with a couple different flies and see if there's more fish in there. See if by switching our patterns up, we can find a few more active fish. This brownie was certainly active, and he ate the little guy. He ate my little caddis pupa pattern that I just tied last night. I'll show it to you here once I get the hook out. Beautiful little fish. Thank you, buddy. Let's talk about small, and I didn't even do a very good job of, the fish ate it, even though I didn't clip the tag end off very good. Let's clip the tag end off. This probably is not going to focus very well at all. But that's all it was. It's like a size 20, very simple pattern. And I went through the first time with a pheasant tail. Now I'm going through with a Waltz worm. Okay, caddis imitation. It could be crane fly larva too, but see if I can show that one to you. Very simple. If you look at the stick that I caught, caddis casings on it, so never a bad option in the West to fish caddis. Now, in a month or so, that's all I'm going to want to fish is caddis. These are going to pick up their activity quite a bit here as we get close to the Mother's Day. With the water temps and the air temps the way they are, I wouldn't be surprised if everything happens with caddis a bit early. All right, let's go back through here. Of course, the wind is probably going to pick up now. It's supposed to. We had a nice session though, so even if it does, not a big deal. There's a lane out there where if I'm a foot closer to me, it's much shallower. There's a gravel bar there, like a shelf. And if I'm 6 inches off that shelf, when I find it with my cast, I seem to get a fish right in that area. Right off that little drop off. Can't see it out there because it's down there pretty deep, but I can feel it with my flies. When I'm too close, I'll get hung up, and when I'm out there in it, just drifts right through. And occasionally a fish eats it. Right there, I like that one. That's in the spot where I've been getting them. I felt a slight little bump there. Could have took something on the bottom, but it acted like that. See, that's the bottom right there. That's that shelf I was talking about. And there's a piece of grass. Just beyond that is where I'm finding the fish. Let's try it again. I don't think that's gonna do it. Ooh, I just saw a fish rise down below me. There we go. Now I'm over there. Now I'm in it. Ooh, that was bottom, I think. Maybe I wasn't in it. Oh, no, there it was. Let's see what this fish ate. We'll see if he ate my caddis like the last fish did. Oh, and he's off, shoot. Felt like he was on the top fly. Hard to tell 100%, but I'm guessing he was because that fly's pretty small. And he got off there pretty easily without me doing a whole lot of anything crazy. Shoot. I wouldn't have minded if I lost him as long as I saw what fly he was on. It's all about intel, you know? Start to put pieces together a little bit, right? Develop a pattern. But that's two after we worked this pretty good just a little while ago. So that's two fish if I had just walked away that I would not have touched. Okay, let's move up here a little bit. If you're ever out fishing for an extended period of time, you will notice oftentimes, got some gunk on there, that where you find fish when you started the day, oftentimes isn't where you find them when you end the day. And that, a lot of that has to do on whether or not there's bugs coming off, whether you were started in the midst of bug activity or you fished your way into bug activity. A lot of times when there's no bug activity, they'll sort of sit back at the end of pools, you know, in the deeper, slower stuff where it's more of a resting lie than a feeding lie. And there's always a few fish up in the feeding line, but you'll notice, especially if the bug activity increases, a lot more fish will come out of that resting lie and move up into the feeding lie, i.e. higher up in the stream. Oftentimes that's shallower water, but not always. Let's see if we can, it felt fishy. Might have been a fish that I already caught, just the way it acted. Very soft take. Kind of like, I've had that hook in my mouth already once today. I don't want to do it again. So I'm working through this a little faster just because I'm on video here. But if I wasn't, and I was really trying to get some more bites, I would be fishing this a lot more thoroughly. Knowing that I've already gone through here and disturbed the most active fish. So to get those fish that aren't quite as active, probably going to take a lot more effort, a lot more drifts, a lot more prospecting. But for the sake of the video and time, we'll move in pretty quick just to find the active fish. There you go. So even after we went through there and fished it, there's still fish in there feeding. Now I could have probably went through with the same flies and had luck, but I always like to switch things up a little bit, go through there with a couple little different patterns. Doesn't have to be crazy, you know, doesn't have, maybe even just change the size. You know, if you're using a This fish is fighting a little bit. If you're using like a 16, you know, maybe try 14 or vice versa. I like to always start big, so if you're using 14, maybe bump down to it. Oh, this fish is sort of wrapped up in our line. It's a good fish. He's going on a tour. He's way down there. Chances of us successfully landing this fish just decreased quite a bit. Mostly because he's wrapped up in the line, which means he's probably on the top fly. Means that's 3 fish on the caddis larva most likely. So the fish I got before were all a little bit closer to the bottom on the pheasant tail. And these fish fed up in the water column a little bit on a smaller bug. And he just switched places with me. So let's see if we can get this fish in the net. Gentle, gentle, gentle. What do we got here? A whitefish? You got a whitefish? Sure do. And look at that. He's like lassoed in there. He's definitely on the upper fly. Look, I know these aren't the most beautiful fish to look at, and oftentimes they're not the target species for a lot of anglers, but in the competition world, this counts just the same as the pretty ones. All right, thanks, fish. Till next time.